Thomas Edison's development of the bulb relied on his ability to create a fully developed marketplace, not just a useful device. The reason why he was so successful was because he could envision how people would want to use his device. He was concerned with the user's overall needs and preferences when designing his invention. Although Thomas Edison invented the light bulb decades ago, his approach was one of the earliest ideas of what we now call design thinking. Over the course of his development, Edison found that he could be much more successful approaching his work as a team versus the idea of being a lone genius inventor. This semester, I had the opportunity to be involved in my first design thinking studio, where I was able to work alongside my team of classmates to learn and become familiar with the ideas of learning design. In this 21st century of education, teachers are stepping away from traditional methods of instruction in order to scaffold understanding among their students. Although I am only in my third year of teaching, I have already seen how my philosophy of teaching has changed. For instance, I believe that learning happens when the teacher provides learning opportunities for students. In today's 21st century of learning, teachers should assume the role of a facilitator among students. In many school settings, learning is transitioning from being a traditional lecture-based class to a thriving student-led class. This semester, in our LDT class, I think we can all agree that Simon served as a facilitator of our learning. On account of his role, I was able to explore items that I was interested in. I was also able to go into the depth that would be best for my overall learning needs. One way that Simon facilitated our learning this semester was providing us with the opportunity to create our own learning pathways. I really benefited from this because I was able to choose authentic assignments that would help me in the field of education. After creating my own learning pathway, my first activity was to create my online portfolio. Not only did this first project get me acclimated to creating my own learning portfolio, but it also allowed me to begin creating an online resource for all my LDT Master's Program assignments. My first learning pathway activity was to create and explore the wonders of movie editing. Through this video editing module, I was able to create a movie for my school to use to promote positive school-wide behaviors known as ROAR. If I could change one thing about this first project, it would be to check out higher quality equipment from Penn State. The quality camera that my school had available was not the best, and some footage was shaky. It would also be nice to have microphones for the teachers to wear. The next module that I explored was Adobe Photoshop. Since this was my first time I used Photoshop, I must admit I was a little bit intimidated by the program at first. But after watching some tutorial videos and collaborating with my classmates, I was able to create a collage of my sixth graders. Again, I appreciate the flexibility that we were given in this class because I was able to create an authentic collage that I can actually use at school. My third module that I did consisted of using Adobe Illustrator. Again, this was a new program to me, but I did find it to be more friendly on account of using Photoshop in my second module. In this module, I created 2 logos for the State High varsity swim team. I was also able to create an infographic on concussions in high school athletes. Both of these assignments encouraged me to go out of my comfort zone with new projects. I will say it again, it was because of the flexibility allowed that I was so invested in these projects. Swimming is near and dear to my heart, so it was wonderful to be able to create items that were related to a sport that I love. My final module consisted of me creating a flipped classroom lesson. Here are 2 of the 3 videos that I used for my 6th grade math class this year. The students watched the videos for homework and then came into class for a work period with their peers and with me. These videos also provided the students with the opportunity to go back and review while studying for our unit test. For this module, I taught myself how to capture a video using our document cameras at school. The best part about looking into this capability is that I was then able to share how this works with other teachers on my team. Now multiple teachers are using this in their learning. After doing my flipped classroom lesson on the document camera, and with the encouragement of Simon, I went ahead and created a lesson on educreation. It was a simple review for my students on multiplying fractions. The effectiveness of educreation for a flipped classroom lesson was just as beneficial for my students. As I think back to the events of this semester, I'm pleased with the progress I've made in Design Studio. Simon was able to encourage me to go outside of my comfort zone in many ways. I love the idea of having the teacher be a facilitator of learning. There are so many ways that design thinking can be relatable to learning, and I'm excited to see how my teaching transforms the learning that happens in the minds of my students both in and out of school. Thank you all for a wonderful semester of learning and growing together in LDT. And I wanted to let you know that the images that I did not create, personally, I found from Google Images. Thanks again.